Hey everybody, welcome back. The holidays are over. The slew of no videos from the Dice Tower is over. We're back. We have a lot of things that are going on. Videos, this is the first video of the week, the live Q&A, and then starting tomorrow, our videos will go up. I have the 12 games I'm reviewing this week over there, looking at them. We got an unboxing going up tomorrow, showing off some more stuff that came back from Essen. We have crowd surfing on Wednesday, so there's various things that are happening. So if you've never been to one of these before, I'm Tom Vassell. I run a Dice Tower. We're a show all about board games, and so each week we try to do a Q&A. I haven't done one for a bit here. We're going to do a Q&A. You can ask me anything. It doesn't have to be about board games. I may or may not answer the questions, and I'll get to as many of them as I can. So let's start here. Well, everyone's talking about COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. And the simple answer to that is we don't know. So you have to declare now on YouTube if your videos are for kids or not. We declared that they're not. While the Dice Tower is certainly family friendly, we're a show that we hope that if you have it on and your kids are in the room, go ahead. But our shows are specifically not aimed at children. They're aimed at their parents if we're talking about kids games. Or for most of our games, they're aimed at adults for the most part. So will that affect us in the future? We don't know. I hope not. I mean, I don't think it should, but that's the extent of my knowledge on the subject. Thanksgiving was a great holiday. We had a good time. Ate a lot of turkey / key lime pie. And in fact, in our fridge right now here at the Dice Tower, we got turkey. That's my lunch for the next few days. And key lime pie. That's everyone else's lunch. So let's see. No questions yet. So, Teotihuacan City of Gods is half price. Is it worth buying? Well, that's up to you. People always say, is this worth getting? Well, that's up to you, whether you think the money is worth it and you want to buy it. Is there no top 100 list this year? Well, actually, I believe, and let me check this out because I don't want to give you guys false information, but I believe we are opening up the voting for the top 100 list now. We're going to be running that in January. We thought that that would be a more fun thing. Yeah, you can vote in the top 100 now if you go to the Dice Tower website. And so go ahead and vote early, vote often. I just realized I am top 100 games of all time. You can vote for 100? Well, go for it. You don't have to vote for 100. So you can go vote in the top 100s, and then we'll be posting that in January. We're going to be doing something a little bit different with the top 100 this year, but I'm not going to spoil that. We'll have that coming up later. Am I a Cyber Monday shopper? Probably. I haven't really. It's really because PAX Unplugged is this week. And we're going there Thursday. I have to get as much stuff in the beginning of the week as possible. I'll probably do some Cyber Monday shopping tonight. I had my kids make their Christmas list for me, so we'll see. What was the best side dish dessert at this year's Thanksgiving? The dish that got the most applause, I try to be as critical of my own cooking as I possibly can. I make everything except sweet potatoes. I don't like those, so my wife makes them. And don't get me wrong, my wife and kids help me make a lot of things. But the thing that got the most praise was the Brussels sprouts. What I did with the Brussels sprouts was I sprinkled them with a little bit of olive oil and some volcanic sea salt from Iceland. And then I put on a little bit of hot honey and some raspberry honey. And then we just roasted them. And they're all gone. Well, it was just too bad because I like them. I was not happy with my stuffing. I think I could have made better stuffing. I didn't put any salt in it, and that's probably why. Oh, my cranberry sauce. I made cranberry guanabana sauce, or cranberry soursop sauce. I don't know if anyone's ever done it before. I couldn't find any recipes or anything on the internet about it, but I thought it'd be interesting. I try to add a different fruit each year, and I was extremely happy with that. So those were the best. Best dessert. My key lime lady now makes a peppermint key lime pie, and I really like that one. But there was a caramel key lime pie, and that's still my favorite of those. no pun included, also says they're not. Yes, the only reason I'm a little bit more concerned than, say, you, no pun included, or Shut Up and Sit Down, is that I review more children's games than any other of the major reviewing channels. Actually, I think I review more children's games than all the other ones put together. So that is my concern, because I do talk about children's games, but I always talk, you can watch the reviews, I always talk to the parents and say this is a good one to play with your kids. Are any good games to help a 4-year-old learn how to take turns? Pretty much all of them. Lots of hobby games do that. Let's see here. Can you do an updated top 10 games we hate? Maybe at some point. We don't do the negative ones as much. I'm still waiting for breakfast. Yeah, there is no breakfast today. I announced that, I think, last week. There was no breakfast on Thursday either. And in fact, there's no breakfast this coming Thursday. That's 3. I know it's a lot, but then when December comes, you'll see them happen much more regularly. Thoughts on The Mandalorian so far? I love it. I've watched all 4 episodes. I'll try not to be spoilerific here, but it is a show that the whole family enjoys. The trailer made it look really dark and gritty, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And it's really not dark and gritty. It has a Western motif for sure. It relies on a lot of tropes, which I don't really care about. I like tropes. And it has easily the most popular Star Wars character that's ever been introduced in a series. That everybody, from myself down to my 5-year-old, we all love this character. We all want this character for Christmas. The real character, not a stuffed character, but the real one. It's just awesome. I mean, it's like the opposite of Jar Jar Binks in every way. But the storylines are fun. It's just a fun show. It's short, it's simple, it's episodic. You know, I normally like big overall plots. This one has a big overall plot, but it's also, you can watch each episode as its own thing, and you can't binge the show. I guess you can binge it once it's all out, but that's okay. It's fun. It's like an event that me and my family do each week. We just watched the 4th episode yesterday. Just the weekend, Thanksgiving was all busy, but enjoying it a lot. Is there an agenda or schedule for Dice Tower Cruise? The schedule, yes. I don't know if we published it yet, but we'll publish it soon. There's not very many events on Dice Tower Cruise. There's lots of events that the ship does, right? And then we have a few events of our own. Just off the top of my head, we always do them the same time. We do opening night game show, and then we do a closing night game show, and then we do a Dice Tower live show, and that's always the day. It's always a day that we're at sea, and it's always the day that they have the dress-up dinner at night. So I don't remember which day that is. So that's the schedule for this time. I also do a little church service for people who want to come to that. But other than that, there's really no events. Any good Black Friday, Cyber Monday steals? Again, I don't know. I haven't really been putting a lot of effort into that. I didn't see, on Black Friday, I did mess around and look around. I didn't buy much Black Friday. I added a few more small Alexa dots to my family and some more Alexa lights. And I spent yesterday working on that at my house. I made the whole downstairs light bulbs. So now we're going to say, Alexa, turn off the lights, and it happens. And I might have made yours go off, and I apologize. But that's a neat thing. I'm really liking that. And I like that the Alexas double as a monitor, right? So we can communicate back and forth between the rooms. That's kind of a neat thing. But I mean, I'm getting so used to it. Someone asked me a question here at work, and I was like, "Oh, Alexa, what is the temperature?" Oh, that's right. I cannot do that. I like that also. In the morning, it turns my lights on and has an alarm go off. That's a neat thing. Okay, so asking the same question multiple times does not make me. It makes me want to not answer, but I will answer this one anyway. You, Z, and Sam play 100 games you've never seen before, all different themes, mechanics, etc. What's the win percentage for each of you? Don't know, don't care. It really doesn't matter. It depends on the game. I pick up games really fast, but I do not win games very often, but I can pick them up pretty quickly. So who knows? G-Stone seems like a great app, sure, but there are some security concerns. There's always security concerns about everything, right? This is a very widely used app. I know the people who run it. I trust the people who run it. They're all very, to me, trustworthy people, so that's about the best I can say about it. Will we still be doing our own list? Well, sure. We'll be doing the list in January. That's when the top 100 shebang goes up. Again, I'm just asking you to hold off. We will be launching this in January, so you'll have to wait till then. How do we vote in the top 100? Go to our website at dicetower.com, and there's a thing there that says Vote Top 100. Did Joe, my former co-host of the podcast, want to go back to board games after the marathon? Yes, actually. You'll see Joe, well, hopefully. We'll see how it works out and everything. You might see more things from Joe in the future. How many different types of key lime pies does she make? Like 30 or 40. Since I've started working with her, it makes me sound like I own since every couple, 3 months, I'll be like, why don't you try this? I got her to make a cherry key lime pie and a caramel key lime pie. And I'll say, why don't you try this flavor to see how it works, you know? So what was I going to ask you next? Oh, a kiwi one. I'm going to see how that one works. All right. Hey there, Tom. I'm excited to see you and the rest of the Dice Tower gang at PAX Unplugged. So other than the panel, what plans do you have? We'll have a booth there. So you can swing by our booth. What is our booth at PAX Unplugged? I probably should look that up. There we go. Sorry. I will leave here. PAX Unplugged. I'm going to their website because you think I would know my booth off the top of my head. I do not remember where it is. So registration, features, gallery, map. Is it under gallery? Let's check out features. Maybe it's there. Features, exhibit hall. Well, maybe it's in my email. It's scintillating to watch somebody. Let me see if I have the PAX Unplugged info. Blah, 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 blah. Good morning. Here's your PAX information. I got a lot of emails from the PAX Unplugged people. Well, I don't remember what it is, but we'll be there. So come by and say hi to us at PAX Unplugged. Will you be opening the Brett Spiel Advent Calendar this year? They didn't make one. So no. They made a little promo pack thing, but they didn't make an Advent Calendar this year. I can't wait to go to my first PAX. Besides the next roasted pork sandwich in the market and cheesesteaks, which food stuff should I must try? I heard there's really good cheese, grilled cheese sandwiches at the market. I still haven't had them. There's the Chinatown there makes amazing, authentic Chinese food. Really good. In the market also, there's a place that makes donuts. I believe it's a Mennonite place that makes donuts. They're phenomenal donuts. And there was a really good turkey sandwich I had there. They make really good breakfast sandwich. The Nick's is the best, though. I would eat there every day if I could, honestly. Let's see here. Could I do a top 10 tips for starting a game group? Maybe I'll do that at some point. If Tom ever gets bored of board games, he could go as a cooking channel. Maybe. I don't think many people would watch it. What booth are we going to be at PAX? Another question for that. I don't know. I'll have to ask Kenny later. Oh, I'm sorry. I am doing another thing at PAX. I'm working. I forgot about that. I'm going to be with Isaac Childress, and we're going to be talking about an upcoming thing coming from Gloomhaven that has yet to be announced. And so I can't tell you more, but I'm pretty excited about that. I'm just the moderator there. I'm a fan, just like everybody else, so looking forward to it. Have I finished the King's Dilemma Legacy game? Yes. I enjoyed it a lot. Do I have a favorite Puritan author? I don't know if I know any Puritan authors. What What's the best board game with the poorest rulebook? Oh, there's lots of those. I wouldn't remember. I try to purge bad rulebooks from my brain. What are your thoughts on Atlantis Rising? Yeah, I do like it a lot. I like the reprint very much. That game we played live was extremely fun. That's the only game of it that I played, but I did enjoy it. If I had to choose one Clank Legacy or the King's Dilemma, which would you prefer? Well, I guess you have to wait till the end of the year and see how my top 10 list is. That's coming next week, actually, our top 10s for the year. So I already have mine finished. I have actually multiple top 10 lists for the year. I've already gone through and worked on them. There's a lot of games I haven't reviewed yet that I am going to be talking about as I go through all these. And so I have the top 10 for the years, all my lists done, but they're not like done because, because there's a chance that maybe a game I play tomorrow or a game I play at PAX will change my mind. I doubt it. I think I'm set, and you can never play every game that comes out over the course of the year, right? I looked up games that had 10 or more ratings, and there's 1,800 of them. Yeah, I can't play all those games. But I played a lot of games. So I think there was 190 games that I really liked and thought could make my top 10 lists. Star Wars Rebellion for $50. Where's that? So I made people's devices tell the weather. Sorry about that. Is there a Korean holiday you continue to celebrate since you came back? Not really. I mean, me and my wife sometimes celebrate White Day, March 14th. Pepperrow Day is November 11th, but I don't really. In Korea, they separated that because it's 1-1-1-1, and like the little Pepperrow sticks, they're called something else in Japan, and that's what most people in America know them as. But Pepperrow's like a little wafer with chocolate in the middle. Really like them, or sometimes chocolate's on the outside. Actually, it's normally on the outside. It's only sometimes in the middle, but I like the ones in the middle better. Anyhow, I digress. I really like those. But in America, November 11th is Veterans Day, so that's what I celebrate here. It seems kind of weird to be celebrating Pepperrow Day. They're also really expensive in America. Yeah, the weather's bad up there. That I'm not looking forward to about PAX for sure. Biggest surprise of 2019 so far? Well, again, I hate to keep deferring, but you're going to have to come back next week because we're doing a top 10 surprises of 2019. That list I highly doubt will change because that list was actually pretty hard for me to make, to narrow it down to only 10. I was surprised a lot. Are games going digital too soon, in our opinion, or is that just part of the gaming world now? No, not really. Have I finished up Tainted Grail? I have not. That will take a while to finish that one, I'm sure. How can I stop my hoarding ways and get rid of games I never play anymore? Just stop it. Go watch the Bob Newhart skit. Stop it. You know, once you get rid of a few, it really makes it easier. Hoarding is not a good thing, period, in my opinion. To hoard stuff, right? When I was in Korea, I distinctly remember one day I was sitting there going, why am I keeping games that I actively dislike? I was keeping everything. I had a big collection. I had like 1,200 games at that point in time. And I was like, why am I keeping games I don't like? Then after a while, I said, why am I keeping games that I thought were okay? Then after a while, I said, why am I keeping games that I like, but I'm probably never going to play these games again? Then I got to the point where I'm like, why am I keeping games that I don't really like? And then I got down to about 300. And even that's a lot of games, right? So now you can say, well, Tom, you're cheating. You have the Dice Tower library. You're right. I have the Dice Tower library that's in a storage unit where I keep it all organized. But even there, I get rid of games that people aren't going to play. I'm not trying to hoard even that library. I'm not trying to make the biggest library on earth. I don't think I'll ever catch up to Board Game Geeks anyway. They had 60 shelves, I think 8,000 games. It was or whatever it was. It was a lot of games. Now, I want a nice, compact, excellent library. Let's see. Why do you so rarely speak at Project Elite? No, I don't rarely speak of it. I think I talk about it a lot. It hasn't come out yet. I mean, I have the older version, but I'm really looking forward to the CMON version that's coming out. It's not out yet. So as soon as it comes out, I'll talk about it. I'm just waiting. Tom is his own pie guy. I do not. I'm my own pie lady. Miss Debbie from Sweet Delights makes the best key lime pies in the world. I will fight you on that one. They are amazing pies, and if you're ever in the Homestead, Miami area, you should get them. They are that good. If you don't like them, it's because you don't like key lime pie, which is reasonable. But if you like key lime pie and you don't like them, then you don't like key lime pie. When's the next Dice Tower Kickstarter? January 6th, I believe, is my launch date for that. So, yes, all board working on that. I can't tell you a lot more about it right now. After PAX, it's going to be one of the main priorities for us to finish that up. Did you play more games on camera or off camera during the marathon? I think it was about the same. I played a few off, and then I slept off, and then I talked to people off camera. When will the Kickstarter leftover promos be available for sale? We haven't determined how to do that. We don't have a really good way to put them on the internet, and we don't have time to ship them up and pack them ourselves here. So we're still thinking about that. After PAX, we're going to see what we have left over and figure that out. Learning Magic together in cube format. Is that still a thing? I have a cube of Magic in the library, actually, of the Dice Tower, but I haven't really looked into it. I don't actually know how it all works exactly. I might at some point. Tom should observe the Korean Thanksgiving called Chuseok. Well, in Korea, we celebrated Chuseok, but there's no reason to celebrate that here. First of all, I'd have to try to remember what the date is because it moves. But we're in America, so we make a bigger deal about American Thanksgiving. Dice Tower booth is 4100. Thanks. I don't know why I couldn't find that. What are my top 10 Christmas movies? Well, that's a good question. I feel like this is a trap, though, with Die Hard involved. We're going to just take the Die Hard out of the equation. I think it's a Christmas movie, but I don't know. I actually am kind of neutral on that subject. So let's see. Let me look. Oh, Christmas Story would definitely be in there, as would National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I really like those two a lot. It's a Wonderful Life would be in there. That's 3. Scrooged would be in there, so that's 4. Let's see. Elf, probably 5. I'm just looking here. I'm not as Muppet Christmas Carol as everybody else. Let's see what else we got in here. Jingle All the Way. I know it's dumb, but I really like it. So that'd be 6. No. Holiday Inn. I like that one a lot. I like that one better than White Christmas, actually. So that'd be 7. So Die Hard did show up here. No. I like Christmas movies overall. I'm just being very picky here. There's a lot of good Christmas movies. I'm just trying to pick one that I like a lot. The 40 best Christmas times of all time. Let's see what they say here. Or the 50 best. I did like that one I just put up on Disney Plus, but I wouldn't pick that one as one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. Well, that's some of them anyway. I like Christmas a lot, so if I see a Christmas movie, I'll probably watch it. It just doesn't bother me. I don't need to see them be weird. I don't need to see a horror Christmas or any of that. I like just straight out Christmas stuff. Yeah, and there's a lot of movies they put in here that have Christmas in the background. I don't know if I'd pick those. And then things like Gremlins happened around Christmas. but I don't know if I'd consider that to be a Christmas movie or not. Yeah, I'm looking at these top 40 Christmas movies in there. Oh, Rudolph. Yeah, Rudolph. And Charlie Brown. Both of those would be in my top 10 also. Not Nightmare Before Christmas. It's okay. I don't like it as much as everybody else. Miracle on 34th Street. Nah, it's 2. Home Alone. It's okay. Yeah. Well, I guess I like pretty much the same ones everyone else does, probably. Alrighty. Have you watched the Clone Wars TV series? Why not? Time would be the reason. I also didn't really like the animation, but I heard it's really good, so maybe I'll get around to watching it at some point. Let's see here. Oh, on PAX schedule, it says that they're announcing Gloomhaven 2. Well, I guess then they're announcing Gloomhaven 2 at PAX. Alrighty. What legacy game am I still playing right now? Like right now? None, I think. Tainted Grail's not a legacy game. It's a campaign game. Although I was sitting here thinking that I want to finish Betrayal at House on the Hill, the legacy. Are you looking forward to Gangster's Dilemma, which is like King's Dilemma, but rethemed for a gritty mob theme? Well, that's cool. I didn't even know about that. Voting on the top 100 returns submissions for this form are closed. Submissions for this form are closed. All right, well, I will talk to my webmaster and we'll get on that. I hadn't tested it yet, which is why we hadn't officially announced it. Has anyone started on an unboxing for Cthulhu Death May Die? I don't know. The review is coming from Z, I think. The live play, didn't they play that on the marathon? Well, maybe we didn't. There was a lot of things that didn't get played in the marathon. I mean, I brought in like 60 games that were possibilities. Does my son like video games? Well, he's 5, so he just likes, that stuff on the iPad he likes the most. Curious George is the one he plays the most, I think. Some Curious George game. Did you buy any Switch games on Black Friday or today? No. Oh, I bought my kids Pokemon, but I don't think that was on sale. I know you typically do not like movies about villains, but are you looking forward to Birds of Prey movie? Well, you kind of answered the question there. No, I'm not really. But I also, isn't Birds of Prey isn't that the Harley Quinn movie? I didn't like Suicide Squad, so I don't know that I would like this one. Hey, what do you think about the paying a card cost using other cards mechanism? Oh, sure, I love that thing. That's been around for a while, though. Race for the Galaxy does that, So does many games use pay a card cost with other cards. I like that mechanism a lot because it makes you make hard choices in a game. Top 10 Switch games that I like. Well, I don't play many Switch games, so my top Switch games, Breath of the Wild I played more than any other Switch game. And then right behind that is Skyrim, but I played Skyrim before it was a Switch game too. But those are the two I played the most. I like the Super Mario one a lot with the hat. He has hats. That's cool. I enjoyed that one. I played the Octopath. I like that. So that before. I really like, there's this little game called Gungeon, I think, where you have these guns and you go through a dungeon. But it's so hard, and I gave up in frustration because when you die, you're just dead, and there's like no save points, nothing, and I'm just not very good at it. So I kind of gave up on that one. I think I'm playing this new one now I was just talking to Z about this morning. So top rated Switch games. Let's see which of these I've played, because I usually don't get, I'm really picky when it comes to Switch games. Super Mario Maker was entertaining. Mario Kart, I played that. Super Smash Brothers, that was fine. My kids like that more than me, but I played it. Minecraft, my kids play, not me. Blah, blah, blah. Diablo, I've only played that a little bit. Oh, Fire Emblem Three Houses. So I started playing this one. I heard like really good things about it. And it starts out with this tactical battle, and I was like, wow, this is fantastic. I like this. Then it stuck me in this for lack of better terms, Hogwarts ripoff house. I know it's not, but it's definitely like Hogwarts. And I'm running around and talking to people and having conversations and listening about people's relationships and things like that. And I'm like, I want to go back to the tactical battles. So I don't know how much of this. I haven't got out of this house yet. I'm about to go have a battle, I think, with somebody. But I don't want to do all this extra stuff. I just want to do the tactical battles because it reminds me of Final Fantasy Tactics, one of my favorite games. Anyway, Octopath Traveler. I played Wolfenstein, but I'm just awful at it. Xenoblade Chronicles. I enjoyed that one a lot also. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all the ones that I have played on the Switch. Or I've played smaller games and stuff too, I'm sure. Linky. It's hard to find. I think you can find it at Target, actually. Pocky, yes. Pocky is the name of, I call them Pepperdo. That's what they're called in Korea. They're called Pocky from Japan. And they're way overpriced in America. Like in Korea, I could get 2 boxes for $1 usually, right? And in America, they sell them for $3 or something. It's crazy how much they're overpriced here. Although I found that there's a lot of, when it comes to Japanese snacks and things, I almost feel like people eat them because it's the cool thing to do. Let's see here. Have you looked at the new version of Car Wars on Kickstarter? I've not, but we'll be doing our crowd surfing show on Wednesday, so we'll probably talk about it then. Would you rather see DC added to Legendary or DC added to Marvel Champions? Oh, I don't care, actually. I know it sounds bad. I wouldn't mind it being added to either one. I don't think it will be. Mixing of the things. It's been done with WizKids, but it'd be cool. Man, Legendary would be kind of neat if it happened at Legendary. It would be neat in Marvel Champions, too. Have you brought your children up to believe in Santa? If so, will you be making a visit to the Basils this year? I have not. And I'm hesitant to say more because I think the last time this question came up, I got yelled at for revealing stuff on this channel. So I won't because okay, yeah, nope. I'm not falling in that trap again. Last night, my favorite friendly local game store closed. Terrible. Well, that's true. I was wondering how we could spread the word on how to help our friendly local game stores. Is it possible to do a top 10 of how to keep our friendly local game stores open? I don't know. I feel like that's kind of on the friendly local game store to keep themselves open, right? I mean, sure, I think customers should support them in different ways. And I did a board game breakfast on how you can support your local game store. So I guess you could use that. And I think if you have a good local game store, you should support them. But at the end of the day, I don't think, I don't know that any one person can keep a store open, right? Let's use the Key Lime lady, for example. I really like her stuff. I'm her, I value her a lot as a customer. And I will do what I can, but she might go out of business. And you can say, well, Tom, what could you have done more? I think I've done a lot. I've talked about her. I buy a lot of key lime pies from her and stuff, but if she does go out of business, it's not on me. It's not on my head at the end of the day. So I've done my best in that regard, but sometimes, that's how businesses work, right? I take no joy in it, but it happens. What board game con would you go to as your first con? One of the Dice Towers. But that's very biased, realize, from that perspective. Who would you like to see the big bad villain in the MCU movies? Like the next big bad villain? I wouldn't mind seeing like the Skrulls be the bad guys. I know the Skrulls were introduced in Captain Marvel and they were, anyway, I don't want to spoil that movie. But they're like a big bad Skrull, a super Skrull leader of the Skrulls. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Doctor Doom might be interesting as a big bad, and Fantastic Four go up against him. Maybe the Beyonder. It'd be hard to do him right, but that'd be interesting. And then bring in the X-Men and bring in Apocalypse. Apocalypse would be awesome. Mr. Sinister. Do you use stats from the Dice Tower library to determine what stays and goes? I will be doing that to some degree. So when I pick a game that goes in the library, I look at games that are hot, and I just know. I know if a game is hot or not. But stats can help you sometimes and say, well, I thought this game was hot, but it's not. But there's also games in the library that I know might never get checked out. But we have some games in the library for myself, for Z, for Eric, different people, that are games that we like a lot. So we want them in the library because we can teach them to people. And so we're going to say, so for me, like Jet Set, for example. I don't know that many people are going to check Jet Set out of the library, but I might check Jet Set out of the library and play it with some people. But for the most part, I will be using stats and determining things as time goes by, but it's usually really simple. I'm like, yep, no one's playing this game anymore. Are you planning to continue with the videos to fill the break time during marathons for future years? Yeah, I thought that went pretty well, actually. That way there was something that was continually going on that people could watch, and we had a little countdown so you knew when we were coming back. That was pretty fun. What Eastern Pennsylvania activities are you looking forward to doing while you're up here, Tom? I am literally just planning to eat and go to PAX. There's not a lot of other things. On Monday, we don't leave right away, so I'll probably walk around Philly and just look at stuff. That's what I did last year. Any plans to review Divinity Original Sin board game? I don't think we have it. I'm curious what games Joe enjoyed after so many years of not playing. Well, I think he liked a lot of them, and there was some that he said, Joe's never one to waffle on whether he likes a game or not, for sure. And we went back and played Blitzkrieg, the 2-player 20-minute war game, but we didn't play many other games other than that. And he seemed like he enjoyed them all. I didn't ask him which one he liked the best, so I don't know. How old does the game have to be before you would call it an older game? 10 years, maybe? I don't know. We got a great Dice Tower Marathon. How's it for you guys? Easier than at the Cool Stuff place? I think it went pretty well. I mean, there's things that I want to fix and change. I'm always looking at things, but it seemed like it ran pretty smoothly here. In our studios, and the Cool Stuff location was pretty convenient because we could walk out and there was a convenience store right there. But I did bring in a lot of drinks and a lot of stuff. I brought in a ton of food, right? And I thought, too much food. But a good chunk of it got eaten. And then Sharon showed up with cookies, which was very nice of her. How many copies of a really popular game do you store in your library? 2 at the most at this point in time. I might have one game that has 3 copies. I'm not sure. If I think a game's super popular, I stick it in the hot game section. That's all there is to it. Well, thank you for the nice words of my outfit. I get enough negative stuff about that all. Are you excited at all for Rise of Skywalker? Not really. Now, I know that sounds really negative, and I don't mean it to be that way. I'm going to go watch it. I watch all the Star Wars movies. I shouldn't say I'm not excited. I'm okay. I'm like, There's a couple reasons I'm not super excited. One, because I don't know what the plot of the movie is. The last movie did not leave me hanging. I guess the rebellion was kind of on the run, maybe. But the last movie ended on a very positive, uplifting note to some degree. So I don't know. I don't know what the plot of the new movie is. I don't know we know who the bad and good guys are. I guess I'm just not as invested in the characters. Now, don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed all the Star Wars movies. But I'm not as excited. It's not like Infinity War, where I was just about to burst out of my pants in excitement, like, wow, jumping out of my pants and so excited about everything now. I'm going to go see it, enjoy it, and then I think Star Wars is done in that regard for a while at least, and then I can go back and watch The Mandalorian some more. Love Actually is okay. Miracle on 34th Street, I don't like that one as much as other people do. I've never read the Settlers of Catan novel. I don't think I've read the Rift War books. I'm not sure what those are. Home Alone, meh. Christmas in Connecticut, I like that one. Santa Claus is okay. Empire Strike is a Christmas movie? Yeah, no. What particular board game would you pull out to play with the family this Christmas? Whatever one I feel like it. In spite of TBS beating it into the ground, I love A Christmas Story the best, says Jim. Ain't that the truth of it, right? That's how I first saw it, though. 24-hour marathon. My wife, this is the one movie I think me and my wife differ on the most. She hates it. She hates the whole lamp thing and everything. She just hates it. She agrees with the wife on the lamp thing. I just think the whole thing's funny. We watched with my kids, we watched the musical. They did a musical, I think, last year. I found that very enjoyable. Will Board Game Breakfast be back next Monday? Yes. Does Chief Sokoto have any favorite foods? His favorite food is the chickpea falafel. This is made on a alternate Earth moon. There's a hotel there that makes them, and he's always said that's his favorite. Miracle on 34th Street is too what? Too schmaltzy, maybe? I like schmaltz, though. I don't know what it is. I've seen both of them. They're okay. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I don't like that one as much. It's okay. What did I end up doing at BGG Con? Playing games. Talking to publishers, but mostly playing games. I hope they call Gloomhaven 2 Tombhaven. That's pretty funny. Did Sam really flip a table at one of the Dice Tower marathons in the past? Not. He might have I can't remember. Never in anger. If he did it, it was a joke, but I don't think so. Did he? Maybe he did at the very end as a joke. I don't think so, though. Enter the Gungeon is the name of the Switch game. Love the marathon being during the Thanksgiving week. Please make this a tradition. We might. We'll have to wait and see. There's other things that may come into play next year, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Any idea if the PAX Gloomhaven panel will be put online at some point? I don't know. I know they're streaming a lot of stuff live, so it's possible. Have you guys decided what the top 10 category will be at PAX this weekend? Yes, we have. It's going to be our top 10 underappreciated games. Games that are ranked 3,000 or below on Board Game Geek. Let's see here. What Marvel character would you like to see in a crossover with Superman? None? I'm not. Yeah, I played Inish. Someone asked if I played Inish. I played it before. I've never reviewed it. I didn't really like it that much. Is there a list of the games played during the marathon? No, but we're going to be cutting them and re-releasing them as single plays throughs as time goes by. U-Boot is not reviewed yet. Sorry, folks. It just the rule book and the the learning curve for U-Boot is unlike almost any other game I've seen. I pulled it out of the store, we set it up, we tried to go through it, and it was just too loud. I said, I need to do this in a quiet place. So at some point, I may do that. If I have a quiet place and we get around to doing it, it will happen. But the learning curve was tremendously high. I lived in Korea for a while. Is there any Korean song, K-pop that you like? Maybe, but it's been so long. I don't listen to it I don't listen to it off the top of my head. When is Sam's last day? You'll see when we do our top 10 games of the year. That will be the last live video with Sam, and that is next week, actually. Do you have an inventory system to maintain the library and allow for easy check-in and out during cons? Yes, we have a library computer system in play. Are there any PA foods you bring home to Florida when you visit? Last year I brought home some hot honey that I had bought there, and I bought a few spices and stuff, but that was it. Isathel says, I like the marathon filler content. Please more heavy games, though. It was super sad that Great Wall didn't finish. Well, no. I'm sorry. No more heavy content. Marathons do not work with heavy content, and I'll explain why. One, people get really bored because they're waiting for the next game. The reason I stopped Great Wall early is that I didn't want to spend 1/4 of the marathon doing one game. You know, well, it wouldn't have been 1/4. But we want to get lots of games, and we want to keep things moving. And that's the thing, the marathon. And also, big, heavy games are draining on the people in the marathon. So, and also, 3, we get more games played when they're lighter games. Some games are great games to play, and they're not great games to watch. I have been pounding this horn for the longest of times, and people do not believe me, but it's the truth of it. If we sat here and played Maracaibo, it would be boring as all get out. You might say, no, I would love to watch it. Yes, but you are in the minority there, for sure. Euro games, they're fun to play, they're boring to watch, and that is really important. I think really carefully about the games that I try to put on live plays. You know, sometimes we end up playing Euro games like on our Testing Tuesdays. You know, it is what it is. We play whatever it is because it's like an experiment. But if I'm playing a game, you know, on a marathon, it needs to be a game that is popping to watch. And they don't always. Some games fizzle and burn when we're playing on marathons. It's happened at every marathon. There's been some games that just don't work as well. But you'll notice we played more party games because they work well on camera. That was the absolute worst game of Camel Up I've ever seen on the marathon. That's true. I do not know what happened in that game, you know, because Joe hated it, and I was like, man, I've never seen a game where one camel just went right through, dominated, the whole thing was over, people bet. And people were also, I've not seen people so often just roll dice so quickly instead of betting and stuff. There was a lot of new people in the game too. Yeah, that was not the best game of Camel Up that I've seen. Alrighty. Was there parking for everyone at the marathon? Oh yeah, we live in Florida. You just park on the grass. There's always plenty of parking. A common thread on Board Game Geek is that games are becoming too expensive, maybe due to many having miniatures. Agree or disagree? I disagree. Sure, miniature games are getting more expensive, but for every miniature game, there's plenty of games that don't have miniatures that aren't expensive. There's plenty of small, little, cheap games. And you know what? If you really want cheap games, all you got to do is sit around and wait, and they go on sale really quickly. They really do. I mean, games, you don't have to buy the big Kickstarter games. For every giant Kickstarter game, there's a micro game. There's a little card game. There's so many games out there. Also, people always seemingly forget that inflation occurs. So, yes, games are going to get more expensive as time goes by, and it's just the nature of the beast. Only like 10 out of the hundreds of the Resistance people survived in Star Wars. Sure, I get that. But at the same time, it didn't leave me like, what are they going to do now? I don't know. The movie it wasn't like Empire Strikes Back where you're like, they need to go rescue Han. I didn't have any of that in this movie. There was no like, it was kind of like, well, they survived. And a boy can pick up a broomstick with just his hand. That's interesting and all. I don't have a problem with it, but I'm just not like there's no lead up into this movie. Like they showed a whole bunch of scenes. They look cool, but I don't know what's going on. Let's see here. What food am I most excited to eat at PAX Unplugged? Well, Nick's sandwiches, hands down. I love those. Is the G-Stone app contest over? Nope. I mean, yes, it's over. Sorry, you can't still sign up. Yes, it's over. I know who the winners are. They've been notified through the G-Stone app, so you should have gotten a notification if you've won. So check it. What were the pluses and minuses of doing the marathon at the studio this year? Mostly pluses, actually. I had more people in here, so we didn't have to be on camera the whole time. And I know people like to see folks get loopy and stuff, but I like it to be exciting and interesting and have people watch it. And I thought it started really strong, and then the original Time's Up game went, I thought, really well, and it ended fun with our typical tumbling dice tournament we did at the end, and everybody seemed to have a good time. And when it was done, we packed up, cleaned up. Everyone said, "Fare thee well," and some people had to go right to the airport. Joe and me hung out a little bit, and then he had to go the next day. Him and Dan headed out, and the rest of us then got ready for Thanksgiving. Why is anime, manga style art and board games so polarizing? Seems many board games are turned off by it. I happen to love the art style. Yeah, just everything's polarizing. So I was watching a anime cartoon with my kids just a few days ago. I forget what it was called. Love in Connecticut. I don't remember. It was some weird name. And I was telling them how much I just disliked that anime style where you're seeing these very serious looking anime. It's interesting. And this girl meets a boy on a bridge. Okay? Great. Then suddenly it changes to them being short, drawn, dumpy characters and floods of water and slapping and punching and screaming and yelling and them acting like 5-year-olds, and then boom, back to the serious stuff. And just stick with one style. That really throws me off. That is a personal thing for sure. I know some people really like it. I do not get that jumping from the whole I'm walking down the street and the sad music is playing, and all of a sudden I'm like, and my cheeks turn red and you're like beating somebody up, and then it goes back and you're not. I don't excuse me. Get it. Thank you to all the people who just probably typed bless you. All right. But my kids love it, so there you go. Oh, Sam. Well, Sam's leaving for family reasons. He has a new job, a new position. He has not announced that yet, but when that is officially announced, you'll know for sure where he's leaving on good terms. He's in the office over here right now. He'll be here the next couple weeks, and we'll see what happens in the future with Sam and us. You might see Sam in the future on our show at various points and stuff, so that'd be fun. But we don't know for sure exactly how that's going to work. But yes, he is leaving the Dice Tower in a couple weeks. Let's see here. Sure, some people say some of the games that they saw on the marathon were boring, and some that's just how it is. We try to pick different games. Some games are going to be more interesting, some are not. Sometimes it's people, sometimes they click with the game, sometimes they don't. Let's see here. I would like to do, almost all party games during the marathon, but the fact is that would wear everybody out. We couldn't do all party games. Can we get a live Q&A with Sam before he leaves? It's possible. I think we might be able to pull that off. You would have loved to see us all play Team 3 or Mind Blocks. Well, we did play Team 3 once live. What was the name of the dice throwing group game you all played in the marathon? Are you talking about tumbling dice? That must be what you're talking about. Z playing Terry Below the Brothers Murph was one of the funniest things you'd ever seen. Great. Did we play any legacy games in Marathon? We did not. Do you still do text reviews? No. If you don't, I don't. Why not? Because I hate writing. I like talking, but not writing. There's a lot, and again, there's a lot of games that have come out. Like someone asked if I played Cloudspire. I have not played that yet. So there's always going to be games that we don't play that could make our top games of a year, and that's why I always do retrospectives later on about games that I like from a year. Once I have a chance to play most of the big games that came out over the course of a year. On Mars, I don't believe is out yet. Even I haven't. I know. I haven't gotten a copy of it. I know there's a couple copies out in the wild. There was one at Board Game Geek. There's a few copies that are laying around in different places. It has not crossed our desk yet. I'm not convinced On Mars is going to be considered, in my opinion, a 2019 game. If it doesn't come out in a few weeks, I'm calling it 2020. That's what happens every year with some games. I don't know what we're going to do with Miami Dice yet. People have asked about that. I might just retire Miami Dice. Me and Z might review games together, and we'll just call it something else. Because Miami Dice was me and Sam. And Z half the time. So we'll just have to wait and see. I might just retire Miami Dice and do something different. Who won the marathon? Well, I can tell you who lost it. But, I don't know. Kenny. I'll say Kenny won the marathon. Oh, well, it's been... Hey, we made it to 10:56 before someone asked if we're in a board game bubble and it's going to pop. This gets asked all the time. I should put it in the FAQ. No, it's not going to pop. Are a lot of companies going to go out of business? Yes. Will you run out of board games to play? Remember when I said about there being 1,800 games that came out this year? You'll be fine. Hello to everyone who's saying hello. Let's see. What kind of bear is best? Battlestar Galactica. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. I just watched A Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot. Yeah, it was okay. It was a little slower than I had anticipated, but it was interesting. Let's see here. I'd love to see Deception Murder in Hong Kong during a marathon. Sure. And again, I had a pile of party games here. We played, I don't know, like 8 of them or something as time went by. It was a lot of fun. Let's see. I've not played Cthulhu Death May Die. I know everyone else in the studio has played it except me. So I'll get around to it at some point. Yeah, we never did play QE. QE was here for the marathon. It didn't get played. That would have been an interesting one to play. When will you see a review for Maracaibo or Cooper Island? Maybe next week. They're both done. They're both ready to be reviewed. I just haven't done the actual review yet. They're not this week, unfortunately. I do want to get those done, but they're going to be a little bit more effort. Maracaibo, I have a lot of things to talk about that one. Cooper Island, both of them actually. But yes, I have played them both. They're both going to be reviewed, just not yet. Is there a way to play Clank Legacy with 5 people? There is not. And I would not. And you should not. You can probably get it done, but you, I think, would regret it dramatically. Yeah, Calvin says the dreaded bubble. I have like 100 games in my basement I haven't played. Bring on the pop of the bubble. It'll give me time to catch up. That's true. If the bubble pops, that probably wouldn't be good for the Dice Tower or for many game publishers. But for everyone else, like I always tell people this, if they stopped making games forever at this point in time, I think I would die okay. You know, for the rest of my life playing games. I think I could play new games for the rest of my life that I haven't played before and die not having played them all. That's just, of course, I'm going to be dying in about 2 days. Is that too dark? Roy's like, no, you signed a paycheck. Alrighty. Wow, this is weird. This is the this question we answered this last night on their podcast, which is coming out tomorrow. Did you ask? Are you the same person who asked it? Let me look here. What did we? I forget. No, you're not. Okay. Anyhow, the question here is mislabeled prices on games at your FLGS. Do you demand they honor the obvious mistake or not? No. And they shouldn't have to either. That's just nonsense. Oh, I know. We talked about this in Cool Stuff because what happened was Wingspan was marked like $19.99 or something like that. It was the expansion price, and so the person stickering them must have stickered the expansions and then accidentally stickered a Wingspan. You don't get a thing in a store for the price that's labeled it because there's a couple reasons. One, because anyone could just stick a price tag on something then and say, look, you labeled it wrong. And two, it's an obvious thing. It's just silly. You're like, well, you have to honor the price. You don't have to honor the price if it's a clear mistake. Now, there's different things. I was reading a thread about this on the internet this weekend where they were talking about if a game, you bring a game up to the counter and they're like, oh, that's a tapestry. Tapestries are going for $300 on eBay right now because they're out of print. Well, sorry, we're going to have to raise the price of this to match it. That you shouldn't do. You got to do it for the price that it's advertised for. But if it's a obvious mistake, you as the customer shouldn't be like, well, you need to give it to me. No, you're trying to game the system, okay? So there you go. Alrighty, well, that's it. We'll be back live on Wednesday. Actually, tomorrow we'll probably be back live playing a game. So, well, I don't know. Just keep an eye out for our live stuff. We'll definitely be back Wednesday doing crowd surfing. And I got reviews. I got one going up tomorrow, and then 2 every other day of the week. And we'll be doing, if you watch the PAX streaming channel, you can see our live top 10. We will do our best to try to get that at some point and re-put it on our own channel. But if you can't see that, well, guess what? 3 top 10s coming next week. And then I got like 15 more top 10s scheduled for the end of the year. They're my own top 10s. But hey, it's top 10 central. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and you've been watching live Q&A on the Dice Tower. See you then. All right, Bob, it's been a while since we've seen another matchup. Yes, it's an interesting one this time. We have rounded dice, so this is an interesting one. They've not yet entered the arena, and they formed a compact with the golden dice. These guys here have, they're 20-sided and 10s and 8-sided, etc. against the purple horde. Oh, so this is kind of going to be an interesting matchup, Bob. We're going to see who wins here. There's certainly more of the purple horde, and there are some 20-sideds over here, so one never knows what's happened. So let's watch how this matchup goes. Da, 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 da. All right, 10-1. That is already one victory for the circus team, is what they're calling themselves. 14-5. So this is like a kind of a bad start for the horde. They just got knocked out 3 times in a row. Oh, but there goes one of the 10-sideds out. And the round die has won its first victory. That's always a good thing. It always feels really good, 8-1, when you win your first victory in one of these games. That is a 4-2. The purple horde is getting absolutely massacred here, 5-8. They've only won one of these so far. This might be a fast thing. Even there, they rolled a 6, but up to a 7. Oh, one of the round dice has been taken out. But still, 2 victories out of the first 10 is not a good thing. So this may be one of the faster matchups in history. Nope, there goes a 12-sided die. It always feels good when you take out one of those bigger dice. That's what I've been told. We sent our reporter down to the dice locker room, and it was kind of smelly with dice sweat. But the dice, a tie. And the purples are always glad to have a tie with a 12-sided because it takes out of the equation a 4-3. But I don't know, Bob. Another 4-3. Man, a 20-sided rolling a 4, that's a good chance to take it out. There's another double elimination when they both roll the same number. This 20-sided rolled a 2, and yet the hordes only rolled a 1. It's a really sad thing when that happens. And that's what goes to show you, when you don't put forth your best effort. Whoops, that 20-sided should have gone here. We kind of messed that one up, but there we go. So far, the Purple Horde has only won 5 times. Oh. But they have done a couple of double eliminations, which helps. Up there, they won now. Now things are looking a little better for them, especially being the Horde situation. So how's your own life there, Joe? Well, things are looking pretty good. I've been nominated to become a DICE ambassador. So what's a DICE ambassador? Well, a DICE ambassador usually works with card games, and they're trying to explain to them that DICE could be used to modify a game and make it better. As you can see, there's a lot of prejudice against DICE in many different situations, but my job is to help kind of overcome that and help make things work better. 3 does beat a 2. And so things like this, we invite people to come to these events so that they can see the DICE actually in practice. And yet, you know, it doesn't always work out that way. There's still a lot of DICE prejudice in the world, so we're fighting against that and working on that. So how much does the job pay? Well, it doesn't. So it's a board game industry job then. Man, the purple team is just getting... once again, a 20-sided rolled a 3, and then the Dice Meanies rolled a 2. That is crazy. That is 3 times they've had an opportunity to take out a 20-sided die, and they failed completely. They have taken out several of the rounded dice, but they're just not touching the polyhedrals part of the team at all. And so 10 beats a 1, that's for sure. Hang on, we're having a bit of a thing. Once again, this happens in every dice game that's run here, it seems, is that someone argues that when a 10-sided die rolls a 0, that it's actually a 0. And that is not the case. I don't know why we have to argue about this every single game. Alrighty, so round 1 is over. Now, here's the thing, and if you're watching at home, we need you to understand this. It may look like the purple team was decimated there to some degree, but in reality, though, there's still more of them. Now, that is a lot that was taken out, and I don't think it's enough for them to overcome, but we'll see how the purple gets done here. All right, 16 to 1. Well, that was a pretty critical roll there. 3 to 1. Well, maybe the purple team is just going to go home at this point. Well, every time it seems the 20-sided rolls poorly, they roll well. 10 to 3. The purple is pausing up against the 20. They're going to roll 3 of their dice. This is something they're allowed to do, but if they lose them, they will lose all 3 dice. Let's see what happens here. A 12, and they rolled a 10. So the 20-sided took out 3 of their dice. That's a bold move, and they're going to try it again. Really trying to get rid of these 20-sided dice. The 20-sided's cocked, so we're going to have to re-roll it. An 11, and the 6-sided's only rolled a 9. Oh, at that rate, they're going to. But they're trying it a 3rd time. And once again, a 17 beat an 11. This is some pretty desperate maneuvering. Now they're trying it against the last 20-sided die. Oh, that 20-sided only rolled a 7. But you know what? The 3 6-sideds rolled a 6. Wow, folks. I have not seen such shameful playing. They're now trying to take out a 12 with 2 dice, and it rolls a 12. Wow. Wow, this is sad, folks. It's sad to see the once great... Oh, there they took out one of the 12s. But at what cost? At what cost? And they took out another one of the 12s. Yeah, but seeing those 20-sideds take out those 3s at a time, they're going to continue this strategy here with the 10s, which the 10s complaint is unfair, but you know, if a 10 does win, which it just did, it will beat 2 of the dice. So, things... Oh, that's a tie. So a 10 and a 10. And a 7 beats a 6. So they are kind of taking out the 10s here, so that seems pretty straightforward. No, that 10 just beat 2 of the dice. And there's another 10-sider out. And another 10-sider out. And now they're just going to go 1-on-1 against the 6-sided, and they're taking some of them out. But this was some desperate maneuvering on their part. Had they taken out the 20s, that would have been a much better thing. But, oh wow, now they're even getting beat by the 6s. Well, not all of them, but... Alrighty, so now the purple horde is no longer a horde. This is pretty much over, folks, except for the fat die singing. But they're going to start with the round dice. The polyhedrons are not even going to come out. They're going to let the round dice get the glory of the victory here, possibly. And see what happens, because it is a straight matchup. So that's one for one for them. So far, 2 of the round dice have been eliminated. But they also are winning, too. So, and there's a double elimination again. 6 beats a 5. So the round dice are slightly behind on this, but looks like odds have the day, right? There's another double elimination. A 5 beats a 4. A 5 and a 5. There's a lot of double eliminations here. And a 2 beats a 1. So, yeah, the round dice, 5 of them won, and only 4 of the other ones won. The polyhedrons are left. The blue dice are, the horde's getting desperate. They're now going to roll 4 against the 20-sided die. 7, 11, 13, but the 20-sided rolled a 17, and that just wiped out 4 of their dice. That's crazy. They're coming back in. Once again, the polyhedrons are stepping out. They're going to let the 6-sided, the round ones, win the day. There's a double elimination. There's a single elimination. There's only 2 of the horde left. Well, one of them survived. Oh, the other one's gone. That's the end of that round. There's only 1 purple die left. Could 1 die win against this? It's not possible. And in fact, just to be jerks, the rainbow dice are going to roll 3 dice against 1. This is normally not allowed, but the refs seem to be ignoring everything. 2, 1, and 1. The purple die took out all 3 of those. The polyhedrons are now discussing what they're going to do here. Should they send in a 20-sided? Because their humiliation of the purple die is now no longer there. Everyone expects the polyhedrons to win. Should they send in one of the 20s? They have 5 20-sided dice, 6, 7 20-sided dice, 2 12-sided dice, and 2 10-sided dice against a 6. So after some discussion, they're going to send in the 10 first. This should be the last roll of the game. And it is, an 8 to a 3. So they're kind of going home with some happiness to win, but it does seem like that was a very problematic game. And so also the judges are going to be discussing some of this. And that's what's happening here. Now, what's really strange about this whole thing, and what's really, what's going to take the whole thing down, is that when you see these dice like this, as you watch the dice go around and as they battle each other, you have to realize that there is some dice stuff going on in the background that a lot of people don't know about. So we're now going to be going down to the locker room of the dice thing and interviewing one of them. And we're going to find out stuff that people did not realize happened